Can you hear the wind?
I can hear the wind and birds.
Hear the birds chirping. Chirpy, chirp, chirp, chirp.
They're like, hello, Stephanie, we are coming back. So that makes me happy.
Is that what the birds are saying?
They are.
Hello, Stephanie.
We missed you.
We have returned from the south. And we are heading back north now that it's warming up.
Gotta come with us. I know.
Energy is Love podcast. Every time now that we're recording, I'm thinking about Stevie telling us that we have podcasting voices.
Yes. Is it kind of in your head? See, am I speaking normal?
It's very much in my head, but I'm going to use it.
You're going to use it?
I'm going to use it for the promos. For the intros to all these episodes. I will 100% be putting on my podcasting voice from now on.
Should we do that really fast thing? She was like, didn't know what to do.
She didn't know
cute.
what to do, yeah. But let's see, what should we talk about for the intro besides where you can listen, which is all the different places. Anything else?
.com.
Yeah, go to the website, check it out. I think at some point I remember in the back of my mind that we had talked about changing up the website this year,
yes.
And I had given myself the...
Did you give yourself a deadline?
Yeah, remember at some point? I told myself March.
Was it March?
Yeah.
That was not... Well, I grant you an extension.
Yeah, it definitely didn't happen by March.
You revamped everything, just not the website, so...
Just not the website, yeah. My life, but
see? Not
the website. So the website looks the same. But go check it out and subscribe wherever you're listening to now.
Well, eventually it'll be revamped.
One day.
Oh, what's wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with it. It's a beautiful website. There's just, we could do more with it.
Okay, let's do more.
We will.
All right.
Just not today.
I think by March 15th.
I think it's already March 15th or something by the time people listen to this.
Great. That's another failure then.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks for listening, folks. Thanks for tuning in. And on this episode, before we get to what's on this episode.
Okay.
I want to shout out to Everyman again. Go to everyman.com, everyman.com. You can find tons of information, not only about their organization and what they do to help men across the world, but also their events. They have a lot of events coming up. There's another, I think they have 2 events in April, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember, but there's also another one coming up in May, and then they've got their big Yellowstone expedition in July. I would recommend going to all of them. Just sign up for the whole smorgasbord of Everyman events if you are a man. And if you're listening to this and you are in Utah, hit us up and come check out our men's group. We meet every week. It's an Everyman men's group, and you can come sit in and benefit and experience what it truly is to show up and be seen and heard and validated in your raw emotional vulnerability, which sucks sometimes. It's hard, but it's worth it. Changes lives. It's changed mine. So go to everyman.com and check them out.
Fling.
That was kind of cool, huh?
That was very cool.
I just threw a card. It looked pretty neat. What are we talking about on this episode, my love?
What are we talking about on this episode?
Do you have stuff that you're going to talk about?
I don't have stuff that I'm going to talk about, but I have tons of stuff that I can talk about. But it doesn't mean that I'm not like just waiting for this moment. Here we go.
Do you have one thing in mind that you want to talk about on this episode?
One specific thing?
Yes. Maybe?
I feel like I don't know what the right answer is.
Well, it's not a trick question.
Well, it is, because if I say no, then I'm showing up unprepared. But if I say yes, then that stops you from talking about the things you want to talk about because you think I need room for my things to talk about. That's why I don't know what to say.
I think that's what we'll be talking about next on this episode, folks. So
what was it?
I don't know. We'll see. It's a mystery. Stay tuned and enjoy episode 184, 5, something like that.
I think it's 4.
We're getting close to 200, baby.
Sorry.
Here we go.
You're listening to the Energy is Love podcast.
Energy is love.
The Energy is the Love podcast.
The Energy is Love podcast.
Energy is love.
The Energy is Love podcast.
The podcast for the universe.
The Energy is Love podcast.
I'm digging this standing up thing.
Are you? It's good. I'm digging this ball thing.
Yeah.
I like wiggling my butt on a ball.
The standing up thing makes me feel like I'm doing something, like I'm in charge of important things, and I'm waving my arms around and talking to people, and where's this? Get me this. and I'm
Yeah.
at the head of the table and dictating
You're the boss man.
the armies. I'm important and doing something.
You are
and
important.
instead of just sitting on my ass.
Excuse me?
There's nothing wrong with sitting on a ball.
I'm flossing my hips. Thank you. This is called joint help. It's a thing.
It is a thing.
It's a total thing. That's what I'm doing. Look at that. Look at
Hip
a body
flossing.
in motion stays in motion. So I'm sitting here working my abs, my back, my hips, and I'm getting a butt massage. You're just standing there.
I don't know if I've ever heard the term flossing my hips.
Oh, it's a thing. It's
I know
totally
it is a thing now that I've heard it. Makes total sense.
Yeah.
But the visuals of you flossing your hips,
Are you thinking like dental floss and me just like wearing a thong?
yes, I'm thinking about thongs.
That's
and
butt floss. It is not the same thing.
well, I think some thongs could be considered hip flossers.
They absolutely could. Yeah.
I like where this started.
Did you?
Yeah, I
All
like the
right.
visuals I'm getting.
Okay. Never mind.
Should what?
I was just going to be funny and be like, should we phone in a friend? And then,
Phone a friend.
I don't know, just like I can get another ball and get another hip flosser and we can have 2 balls. I'm apparently giddy today.
You are giddy.
I'm sorry.
How are you feeling today?
Giddy.
Yeah.
See, you can't be in a bad mood when you're getting a butt massage.
You know, that's true.
So, la, la, la.
That's very true.
All right. I think we need to quit talking about the fact that I'm sitting on a ball. I think it's been 3 podcasts in now.
3 podcasts where we've mentioned the ball.
The fact that I'm just sitting on my ass.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's where the best things happen. It's where the most thought-provoking.
My ass is the place to be. Is that what
Come sit
you're
on
saying?
Steph's ass.
Let's not.
And then you'll have great ideas.
Aw, I got nothing.
You got nothing?
Oh, apparently I need to sit on my own ass. Wouldn't that be cool?
If you could sit on your own ass?
A contortionist, I'm pretty sure that's possible. I've seen some weird things.
Oh my goodness.
They can bend in ways that I cannot yoga that well.
So, we're just moving on
Yeah.
from whatever it was that you're talking about. Several episodes ago, you and I talked about listening to the very first episode
Oh, yeah.
that you were on. Do you remember
I
that?
actually forgot, but I remember I did listen to it.
Do you remember? It was episode 20, right? I think so.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, like the day after that, or the next day after that, I listened to all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 20 was the very first time Stephanie was on the podcast. Did you go back and listen to all of it?
I did go back and listen to all of it.
What are some of the things that you were left with?
Why do I always gotta go first? Some of the things, we're different people.
What, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 4 years ago.
That's a long time ago.
Doesn't seem like
It doesn't seem that long, but listening to that, I'm like, oh, we are different people.
What are some of the things that stood out?
That we are different people, and we have much better podcast voice now.
Yeah. We're definitely way better at podcasting. That's for sure. What else?
I don't know. Do you think, I feel like, wow. It's hard to say. I was really uncomfortable. I was really felt like, I don't know if I ever, it's funny, 4 years later, and I'm like, who the hell am I? I'm realizing how little I felt like I had a right to be there. I'm like, we're such different people, but I just like barely started tackling that one. Like, no, it's cool. 4 years later, I can be on this podcast.
Yeah.
So,
Different but the same.
different, but I think we were, I think we found a shiny light. This, I don't know, it'll probably piss you off. It's all right. That's fine. It's my interpretation. I think we found a shiny light in a dark place, and we were really, really lost, trying like hell to believe we were found when we were talking back then. It was like we were holding on to it with everything we had. And I think we've grown a lot since then, and I'm grateful.
So would I interpret what you just said as was that we were full of shit?
No.
No.
I think we were scared shitless.
That is one of the things that stood out to me was we were talking from this place of, like you said, I think that, do you need to take that for a moment?
It's just, I don't need to take it. I'll just be a second.
Okay. So we were talking from a place of naivete, I think. And I know as I was listening to myself, a few things stood out. First off, the intro to that episode sucked. I didn't like it.
Right. There was 2 intros.
There was 2 intros.
I'm like, what? How was that? How was that? I think you had your intro for the episode, but your generic intro that went with all the episodes. But it was still good. Look how detail oriented you were. Even back then, your audio was flawless. You master.
Yeah, the audio was somewhat okay. I think that we talked too fast. I also think that we weren't as real and
not even close. I think we were real as we could be.
Yeah, that's one big difference, I think, is how much we've changed in regards to the level of openness and vulnerability and rawness that we share, as opposed to then. Everything we talked about back then felt very surface, very safe, very picturesque in the sense of what we were trying to express and talk about.
Yeah, I think you and I were also different back then. Like
our relationship.
Yeah, I was not, like, I don't know. You were not okay. I was not okay. But I was very unsure. You were very, I don't know what to say. Oh, God. Our relationship wasn't a sure thing.
Yeah.
Not that it's a sure thing now, because nothing's a sure thing, but I'm pretty confident in us now. What's the matter? Is my audio weird?
No, you're fine.
Whenever you start to watch that,
I'm double checking.
I get paranoid.
No,
did you hit record?
I did hit record,
Okay.
But I was also making sure that my microphone was on.
I can hear you.
It doesn't matter if you can hear me. I want to make sure that little thing can hear me.
I thought it was the same.
What? I got sidetracked. You were saying we were unsure.
Yeah, neither of us were. We wanted to be. I don't know.
I think we were definitely faking it until we were making it.
Yes.
And that's a good example of us in the thick of faking it in hopes of making it one day.
Yeah, but also faking it kind of sounds false.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we were being false. I think we were being foolishly yet accurately optimistic.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
We weren't like lying.
Oh, bullshit. I was lying. I was lying to myself every day that everything was okay. No.
But like in the sense of what we were trying to portray.
Oh, yeah.
Like we were definitely showing up with what we thought was our honesty and our vulnerability and our realness. But now that we've done that for real and continue to do that, it was clear listening to it that, oh God, we were so fake.
Yeah, I still don't think that. I think we're talking about 2 different things. I think you were talking about the actual podcast and what we said on it,
mm-hmm.
which is what the point of this was. So I don't know why you're so off base.
What are you talking about?
I remember how I felt then. So that's what I'm talking about, how I felt as a person. So it's not quite what was said on the podcast, because I think we were fine. We answered fine. I'm just glad we know more I'm glad we know more now than we knew then, which
of course,
that's
right?
That's what the journey, you always know more 4 years later than you knew at the time.
Yeah.
4 years later, when we go back and listen to this one, we're like, oh my God, we were so dumb.
Yeah.
So it's fine. That's good. That's growth. If we're like, oh, we used to be so smart, now we're dumb, that's a problem.
How did you feel at the time?
I told you. That's what I've been talking about. Like not good.
Yeah.
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 So
I'm
glad that it was hard for me to I don't know how to sit. This is like the best. Oh, that's right. Fidget spinner for the ass. That's what it was. This is the best. I get
big bouncy ball for your butt.
I get a wiggle and wobble all my nerves all over the place when it's quiet, so you can't hear it. Does this count as cardio?
Stay on track, baby.
But it's hard to talk about, so I want to distract.
Yeah. No, stay on track.
Yeah. So I just had to remind myself that because I found myself getting. No, I can't breathe because it's hard. I found myself getting kind of sad listening to it, and it would make me want to shut off because I don't want to remember that time. But then it's like, oh, wait, no. That was a building block, so it's okay. That was then, this is now. So I had to keep reminding myself that was then, this is now, and it's okay.
I had a hard time listening to it.
Did you?
Yeah. I didn't want to finish it. And there was a big chunk in that because it was a long episode too.
It was freaking long.
Yeah.
And I even did it without speeding up the speed.
Yeah.
I kept it
You
at the
listen to
normal
it at
speed.
regular
I don't
normal
listen
speed.
to any podcast at the regular speed.
Oh, we got to get you to slow down. But yeah, there was a big chunk in the middle that I was kind of tuned out during and wasn't really listening. And the reason it was hard for me to listen to it, because the thing that kept coming up for me as I was re-listening to it and I was going back was I was being very, very, very judgmental of myself and hearing my voice. And I felt very false and very fake and very foolish as I was going back and listening to it. And so, and I think it's twofold. I think that part of it was like, I felt like back then during that time period, and kind of specifically in regards to the podcast, but also just in life, I think I was very much trying to portray something and put on airs in a sense of what this podcast was and what type of person I was and how enlightened I was and how connected I was and how I could speak about all of these things. And so that really kind of just irritated me to listen to. And I found it very annoying listening to myself. And that was frustrating. That was like, oh God, just shut up already. But then there was another part of it too, where, because I mean, at the time, it was like heavily energetic practices that were taking place in a sense in our lives that we were involved in and dealing with and working with and experiencing and practicing and all that kind of stuff. And I think we still do those things today, but I think that they're so ingrained in now our way of life and our being that we don't have to sit around and talk about them from this experiential place of like, these are your chakras and this is what's happening and this is why we're doing this. And do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I feel more connected to quote unquote the flow of energy and to energy as a whole today than I did back then.
Yeah.
But I think it's just because it's so ingrained in our way of life and our being that we don't need to talk about it as much.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was interesting.
It was interesting.
One of the things that, I don't think it was just that. I think it was a couple of different things. But the desire that people have to share what they think is important or to share their thing with the people that they love and with the world, that desire. So like for us, or for me, I should say, like this podcast and the energy and my belief in the energy and the universe, wanting to share that with people and wanting to like preach about it and tell people about it and to get them to, you know, believe it and to experience it and to practice it and to like give them this gift that has given me so much. I want to do that thing for everybody because it's so important to me. But everybody does that with whatever their thing is, right? Like currently, I'm doing that with men's work and with every man and the importance of your emotional well-being. And like that's been a huge shift and change over the last few years. And now it's like, I got to give this thing to everybody and I got to get everybody connected to their emotions and I got to help people understand the importance of it and all of these things because it's been such a huge beneficial thing for me in my life. But people have that desire, I think, kind of innately in a sense to share with the ones around them when they find something that resonates so much with them, they want to share it with people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you think that is? Why do you think we do that?
Oh, that's not where my mind was.
Where'd your mind go?
My mind was like, that's the good stuff. That's what I want to know about people. I want to know where their passions are and what they feel and what lights them up. Like, I don't care what you have for breakfast. Unless that's your passion, then whatever. So you're saying all that. I'm like, yeah, that's the good stuff. What lights everybody up? So why do people do that? I think, well, I guess I've got two things. I think it's fear and love. And you're like, fear, that doesn't make sense, but I'll get to it. I'll double back. I think it's love, because when you find something that brings you peace, that brings you joy, that brings you happiness, that brings you freedom, whatever, of course you want to share that, because that's like, that's community, right? This is a great thing. I want to share happiness. I want to share, it's the way you share love. But then when you look at the flip side of people that are afraid and what they're sharing isn't really what lights them up, it's what they believe to save you out of fear, then they'll share fear of conformity. So you kind of have to be able to tell the difference between somebody that's uplifting and somebody that's doing the best they can with really false information. But I think to stay on the one part, I just got sidetracked. Did your mind just go someplace else? Because all of a sudden I was like, should I wear shoes today? I think it's love. I just think it's love. I think it's love and excitement. I think it's happiness. I think it's when people share happiness.
I agree, but I think there's more to it, because I think it's such an innate part of our survival.
Say ego?
I don't think it's ego at all.
What?
I think it's survival based, because I can think about like if we think about the concept and idea, and it's really easy to see the way that people do it. So like somebody that suddenly decides cross training or CrossFit is the new end all be all thing for them, right?
Yeah.
And they're trying to
Pretty common
convince
thing at the moment.
trying to convince everybody that they got to go to CrossFit. You got to do CrossFit. It's all about CrossFit.
Yeah.
Or somebody that does it with jiu-jitsu, or somebody that does it, all these fitness things that people get super obsessed about. And then for them, that becomes the thing that has helped them so much, so they want to share it with everybody.
Okay.
So they start to preach about it and talk about it. And,
I keep hearing missionaries.
right? Missionaries,
That's
whatever.
what I'm
But people do it with anything, right? So keto, right? We do it with diet stuff. We do it with food. We do it with exercise. We do it with spirituality. We do it, all these different things. But it's such an innate thing where I have this gift that I have discovered and I have found, and I want to share it with people so that they too can reap the benefits of it. So initially it seems like this cool thing.
Is it
I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I'm not judging it. I think it's innate, meaning it's something that we just naturally do. And I think it strictly has to do with survival, because we don't want to be alone.
So if we get people to think we're great and follow us.
It has nothing to do with, because I'm not looking for people to follow me. I just want people to, I want to share with them what's important to me.
Well, that's what I said at first. I said love and community. It's community.
Think about it from a survival aspect.
I'm trying. Well, community is survival, right?
Right? Where we don't want to be alone. So if suddenly I decide that pine trees are the end all be all important thing, and I'm going to start living around pine trees, and
I'm game.
I want to
love
bring
pine trees.
people with me and show them the importance of pine trees and how we can get everything that we need from the pine trees. And now I can have my tribe and my community set up shop and survive around these pine trees, because I've realized that the pine trees are the end all be all thing. And I can turn everybody else into pine tree lovers. Now I'm not alone by myself with the pine trees.
Do you need everybody?
No. And I accept the fact that not everybody's going to like the pine trees, and the pine trees aren't for everybody.
Yeah.
But I do need some people there.
Yeah.
Because I want to survive. And I understand, like, from a strictly lizard brain part of survival, that I need people for survival.
Huh.
So I think that's what it is.
I think I can see that for people, definitely. That, at least in this point in my life, does not ring of truth for myself. So, oh God, how can I look at that a little deeper? I don't know. That was kind of a tangent, babe. I'm trying to.
Well, where'd you go?
I was trying to follow, but I don't know. Well, yeah, I can see that, I guess. I don't know. I think the thing that I'm getting caught up on is I think it's because not everybody, it kind of feels like you're coming at it with a leader mentality. You're saying not to the follower, but the way you keep describing it is the leader mentality, as opposed to, which is great, right? Maybe, I don't know. You're a leader, so that's why you do it. I don't feel like, I don't know. I'm cool to be by myself. So, but I don't necessarily want to be by myself. I don't have to be by myself. I don't have to have people. I don't know. I kind of like the blend of equality. I guess. I don't know. I don't see it from a leader standpoint, but that's not really.
What standpoint do you see it from? Like, can you think of something in your life that you're trying to, turn people towards or give to people?
I think I'm definitely trying to give to people. A lot of I think the thing that I preach the most from my hierarchy is, I don't know where you're going. I'm super distracted. I know you can hear it in my voice. You're checking your text messages. I'm sorry. I'm super distracted.
Well, let's get into the moment.
Okay, I'm trying. I watched a show last night. I think I need a rubber band. Chapstick, rock, water, coffee, another rock. Oh, there's a lot of rocks. I'm gonna grab a rock.
Why are you super distracted, babe?
I think I'm nervous.
Okay.
I'm nervous.
What are you nervous about right now?
I don't know. I'm just nervous. And
Well,
I'm
then
having
tell
a
me-
hard time keeping my train of thought.
Tell me where you're feeling nervousness in your body.
Wow. We're getting off topic. It's making it harder to remember what I was trying to say because I keep squirreling all over the place.
Maybe that's not what we need to discuss
no,
anymore.
It's good though. I don't know why I'm taking off with because I get what you're saying. I'm not getting the point of what you're saying. I understand it, but it just doesn't resonate with me. I think, because I'm more of a spilled really big bench where we all sit on the bench together as opposed to the head of the table, you know? But I don't know because I also like things to go my way and I also have control issues we've discussed. So am I just so blind to it? Is that just kind of like my... I don't know. Am I being naive? Am I trying to be... I don't want a leader and I don't want to be a leader. I just kind of want to be.
What's the opposite of a leader?
I'm not that.
See, that's the thing.
Fuck off.
That's the thing that I feel all the resistance about. So in this space, you're having such a hard time because you don't want to say that other word. You don't want to come at things from that energy or how you perceive that energy or how you judge somebody from that space. If somebody is that, then they must be weak, right? So that's what I'm feeling coming off of you is the resistance of just like, if I'm not a leader, then what am I? Well,
then I must be weak.
Then the other side of the spectrum is this other thing that we're not going to, the big word that we're not going to say. Yeah. But I mean, the point that I'm trying to make, because I'm not trying to make a point, it was just in the context of listening to that episode.
Oh yeah, we're talking about past episodes.
I was thinking about how much I was trying to like talk about the importance of energy. And that was like the message that I was trying to get out there so that people would connect to it in some way, shape or form, because it's helped me so much.
Yeah, I know.
And now, we still talk about energy and we still talk about the universe and we still talk about these things in some regards, but at the same time, it's not the topic of the podcast any longer.
No.
It's not the thing that we focus on. And so much of what we focus on is the emotional aspect of life and connecting to your emotions. And that's become the thing that is so important to me and that I'm so passionate about. Like when I travel around and when I meet new people and eventually I get the opportunity to kind of have a real conversation with somebody, I don't talk about, the energy of the universe and the importance of spirituality and connecting to your chakras and aligning things and tapping into I don't talk about any of that stuff. I talk about emotions. And I talk about the importance of feeling your emotions within your physical body and being able to express those and connect to those and getting out of your head. And I talk about the importance of slowing down and all these different things. So I'm out there now trying to convert people or at least put something in front of their face that's going to resonate and connect with them. And that's the thing that that's the point I'm trying to make is I think that there's an inherent part of our DNA and makeup as humans that does that thing of trying to get people, if it's something that has affected us and helped us and changed us in a way, we want to give it to other people.
Yes.
And I think that, yes, it's love. Yes, I think it's a beautiful thing. Yes, it's wanting, especially the people that you love and care about that are closest to you.
Yeah.
But I also think it's survival. I also think it's got that component of not wanting to be alone. So that's the only point I was trying to make.
I think there's a savior aspect of it.
Well, there's a big trigger word for me.
I won't talk about it anymore then.
No.
100% I was talking about myself.
Were you?
Yep.
In what way?
I was not pointing my fingers at you, mister, even though I know that that's a thing. I was absolutely pointing them at myself because I've thought of the people that when I bring it to what I'm feeling, I'm not just, I do try and get them in their bodies. I'm a somatic worker, but I very much keep the opening. I'm still in the head too, like the energetic aspect of it and all the universal energy stuff that you don't talk about anymore. I still very much talk about. I just don't talk about it with you. So I do both, and that makes me feel like almost afraid to say, I'm like, fuck, I look like an idiot. You know, you got to keep that side. And that's why I only talk to one person at a time. Anyways, when I'm talking to people that I work with, like my biggest thing for them is if it resonates with you, it's yours. If it doesn't, leave it. Like, you're never going to hurt my feelings. It doesn't matter. It's just like, it's all for you. If you want it, it's there. If it's not, that's totally fine. If it's something that resonates, yours, later, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to say this, and then what you do with it is up to you. But when it's somebody that I'm emotionally connected to, that I care about, I do not have that same mentality. I am like, sit down, listen to me, open your mouth. I'm going to shove all of this knowledge down your throat. You have to embody it because it's going to make your life better. And I can see how much pain you're in, and let me help you. Please just do this, do this, do this. And while I'm saying like, please just do this, it's more of a like you said that thing of meeting people where they're at. You had that awareness. And I was like, oh, I can do that with people. I can do that with like clients. I cannot do that with family, with people I love. That I'm like, please just.
What gets in the way of meeting them where they're at, you think?
I think it's panic. It's fear. I can see where they're hurting and things don't have to hurt so bad for them. And I just want to fix everything. I want to come in and save them.
So is it the fear that you're going to lose them, and that's what gets in the way?
For me, just because I don't want to lose them. Maybe. I think I'm okay with losing people I'm okay with losing people to happiness, not to grief and pain and despair. So if I can save from grief, pain, and despair, I will come off way too strong with that shit and push people away. But if I can like take bullets in a sense and then they're happier, I'll do that. I'll lose to happiness every day. So, but who am I to say? Like you think you're happy or not? Let me fix it. I don't know. So
what's the takeaway? Because I feel like we just touched on some huge, deep thing.
Oh.
But
I was pointing fingers at myself, and you're like, "Well, there's a trigger." So let's talk about your savioristic tendencies.
Well, no, the savior, like the savior aspect of wanting to protect the people that you love and willing to stand in front of them and take those bullets, right?
Yeah.
Sacrifice your own happiness so that they can be happy. Yeah, like don't do that.
I know. That's like the worst thing I learned how to do.
Yeah. It's not
it's the
serving.
first thing I learned how to do too.
It is the first thing that it's the first thing that you were taught.
So
yeah, we don't need to do that anymore.
Right?
Yeah, I still do it.
I know. We both do it.
We do it like you and I will.
And then we fight each other.
Yeah, you and I will fight each other to do that for each other. You're like, no. I'm standing in front of you right now and you're like, no, you're not. I'm standing in front of you so that you don't have to. And I'm like, hold on a second. And then I trip you to get in front of you and be like, I'm going to take all of that. And you're like, no. Yeah, we go back and forth in that asinine silliness.
I feel like we're still 4 years ago sometimes.
And we've come nowhere. We're the exact same people that we were.
God, do you think we are? We're not.
Mm-mm. No.
Yeah.
We're way different, but
We can be.
how can we fix that, babe? Because we've been doing that a lot lately.
See right there. I'm just gonna. We're just
What did
gonna.
I just do?
You just did something. You say that all the time. You're right to be afraid right now. Because motherfucker, you are so right to be afraid. I love you so much. Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. Everybody,
we go.
buckle up. It's one of those women getting all emotional.
What did I?
You say that. How can we fix that?
Yes.
So that's your language. And so
Okay.
one of the things you learn is like, and that's how they talk about the love languages, right? You learn somebody's language and you speak it, and that's how you connect with them. So last night I said, yep, that's where you going, babe. You can come back to the podcast.
Go ahead and finish your sentence,
You gonna
woman.
Stay here? You gonna stay here? I said, what can we do to fix this? Thinking I was meeting you, like, okay, I'm here. I realize this is something. I'm ready. I'm in the arena with you. Thank you, Brene Brown. I'm in the arena with you. What can we do to fix this? And you're like, why is it up to me? Why do I have to? I'm like, oh, I didn't realize this was something I'm supposed to be offended by. So I don't know, Craig. What do we need to do to fix this? Why is that
Yeah, that did happen last night.
Yeah,
And I see it come full circle today.
you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Uh-huh.
So-
Anytime. Is it not your favorite? Because that's not something you say either. I'm sorry, baby.
No, you're good.
I'm really trying to be humoristic,
You are.
but I can tell you are overwhelmed.
I am overwhelmed
So I'm sorry.
because it's like one thing at a time. Like,
My brain doesn't work that way.
let's
58 at once. Let's go.
fix one thing at a time.
Okay. What are we working on right now?
The thing we're working on is how you and I will jump in front of each other to take the brunt of things so that the other person doesn't have to. We both do it, and we do it with each other. Obviously, we do it with our children and with our family.
I really don't want to talk about this. That's why I distracted.
I would like to not do that anymore.
Yeah, me. I think I would like you to not do that for me, but I'm okay to continue to do that for you.
Okay. Well,
That's not a problem, is it?
I'm okay to continue to do that for you, but you'll need to stop doing that for me.
And here we go again. So, Craig, what can we do to fix
that.
this?
Yeah. It's so silly. There's so many times.
I need some help on this one. I can't see it.
Are we phoning a friend?
If I knew, if I had a friend's number that I knew could help with this, you're damn right I'd phone a friend.
Yeah.
Can
I don't see it when I do it very often, dear, in
Yeah.
regards to you. I think that you and I are the greatest mirrors for each other, right? We're the greatest, like,
fact.
the growth and everything that you and I have experienced in our personal life, as well as our relationship and all that kind of stuff, has come through each other. So this is another opportunity for us to have some big, good growth
Yeah.
for our individual selves as well as our relationship, because it stands out like super bright when you do it for me. And meaning, like, when you stand in front of me and take the bullet, metaphorically in a sense, I see it so clearly, and I see how detrimental it is to you, and I see what it's doing to you by continuing to do that.
No, I'm fine.
And I don't want that to happen anymore. I don't want you to hurt yourself anymore by doing that. And I don't want
you to do
the
that.
negative effects of that to take place in your own personal life and yourself. And I also don't want it to take place in our relationship any longer.
Yeah.
So I see those things really loud and clearly when they happen.
Yeah. This is
And
a
I've
hard
started to,
conversation.
it is a hard conversation. We just got to it. My belly's like, get out of here.
I know. I'm like, so
So go back to your list of asinine, pointless
I've
things and
got
talk
a
about
list.
those.
I put check boxes by them so I can check them off.
So I see them really clearly, and I've been starting to call you out on them and trying to challenge you to change them and stop them. What I'm about to say, the point that I'm getting at, babe, is I don't see mine very clearly. I don't see when I'm doing it very clearly.
Yeah.
I know that I do, and I know that I'm doing it a lot.
And when I call you out on it, you don't hear me.
I don't. And
Dishwasher.
I get pretty defensive, and I get pretty... So I don't hear them very well, and I don't receive them very well when you point them out to me.
How
So
could
you and I
speak?
are very clearly mirroring each other in the space because
not having a
we
good
are
hair day without a
displaying
mirror.
the same actions as well as the same reactions. You and I are basically the same person doing the same thing in each other's lives.
You're the same person.
So what can
Why
we...
don't you do funny? Give me some humor. I am like throwing them out here. Thank you. I need some laughter reassurance. This is a serious topic. I like laughter mixed in with my seriousness. Thank you very much.
Okay. A
Hey,
man
I wanna
walks
hear
into a bar.
joke.
Giraffe, right? The joke from yesterday.
Hi, balls.
Big balls. High balls.
Hi, balls.
There we go.
See, I'm all better now.
Okay.
Oh, babe, this is scary.
But we can do more. What do we need to do? What do you think?
How? Obviously, the way I'm communicating with you when those moments arise for you, when I see that you're doing that for me, obviously my style of communication is not working. It's not getting through to you. It's either too quiet or it's too loud. So how do I, Three Little Bears you, how do I get it just right? How can I communicate to you in those moments to where it's safe for you to hear?
I have a thought.
I'm all ears.
First off, do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think that's all. Yes, I see
Okay.
what you're.
Excuse me. Do you agree that this is a big deal and it's something that we should work on?
To a point, yes.
Okay. So what I'm getting at is you're on the same page with me. Right?
So not answering my question.
I'm getting there
Okay.
because this is important.
Okay. Yes, I am partially on the same page.
Okay. So we'll just assume that the
I'm on
the other part that's not on the page is just the fear and the resistance and the hard part that's hard to get on this page. Right?
Okay. Yes.
So if we're on the same page in regards to this thing where you and I are both still doing this behavior with each other,
Yes.
and you talked about communication and how this is like, how can we communicate in this space better?
Mm-hmm.
What that was kind of sparking for me was the way that you and I communicate about a lot of different things, and we create our own language surrounding things.
We do.
So that when I say something to you that's in our own language, you understand what I'm saying and you get it. And so I think we need to come up with a way to communicate about this thing so that we just simply have to say the phrase or the word about this behavior and action, and the other person will get it and they'll see it.
We need to come up with a body memory moment. We need to have a BMM.
We need to have a, yes, that's what I'm getting at.
Okay.
But the only way that works is if we're on the same page. Because otherwise...
I get a little irritated. You say same page one more time, we're going to have a problem.
Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So like when we
So
say
we
sync,
need to be on the same page.
yeah, when we say
Aw.
sync to each other, we know exactly what that means and we're on the same page.
Correct.
So we need something similar like that in regards to this thing, so that when it's so blatantly clear to me that you're doing that behavior, all I have to say is booga booga boo, and you'll be like, God damn
Can
it.
that be it?
No.
Can I just look at you and go booga booga boo?
And then vice versa, where you see it so clearly in the moment, all you have to say is that thing. And I'll say, oh, damn it. Thank you for reminding me. Or fuck this, fuck that, fuck you, fucking hate all this, right?
I love the 3 Fs.
So all of those things are okay, but
Yeah.
I think we can come up with that thing so that we can communicate that in the moment with each other. Because
I
this is
agree.
a big thing.
Woo.
This is a big topic. This is a hard, challenging
It
thing
is.
that I think you and I can definitely
All
benefit
right.
and grow from.
I think so.
Thanks for listening, folks. The podcast is over. Steph and I will never talk about this again and proceed with the rest of our lives blocking each other from bullets.
It's what we do.
So,
Oh, I don't want to get out of your way
why?
because I love you.
Correct.
I don't want to get out of your way.
Correct.
And I feel like most of the time, the bullets that I'm blocking are not from outside forces. They're self-inflicted. So like, fuck you. I'm not going to stand back and watch you burn. I don't think I can do it. I can't do it. that I do that with people I don't care about anymore, or I've had to emotionally disconnect from. So to me, that equals the end of a relationship. And I don't know. I don't know if I can reach that part of me that can find that healthy balance to let you feel some of your own shots. Because just saying that sucks. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can.
Why does Superman stand in front of people?
Because he can take it. He can save them because he cares. I can take it.
Because he thinks he's stronger than they are.
That's not it. I know I've only got so many spots left that can take a hit. But if I've got them left, I'm going to use them. That's horrible. I know that. But I can't just stand back. I can't look at you and let you. No.
So what if we reframe it?
Okay, we'll try. Because right now I'm pretty,
What if it's that simple practice of you no longer have to stand in front of me and take it for me, but you can stand next to me and say, watch out. There it comes.
Okay, that's good in theory, babe, but like how the fuck is that practical?
Well, the whole thing that we're getting at right now is coming up with that thing that we can say to each other so that we recognize when it's happening. Because what we need is relative, right? But what we're getting at is, I want to stop the behavior of standing in front of you and protecting you from everything.
Yeah, dude, don't.
And I also want to stop the behavior of putting myself last and not thinking that I matter and only, do you know what I mean? All of that kind of behavior as well. And I want you to stop the same thing because you're important and because you matter.
I feel like you're saying the same things, but I do not feel like we do the same things. So I'm kind of like, oh, good.
So do you feel like you're just getting so defensive now that you're getting off the same page out of being defensive? Or is it truly that we're talking about two different things?
Well, here's a truth bomb, and this sucks. It's not just about you. It is self-preservation of when I block your bullets. And I didn't realize that till this moment. Till I'm like, no, because when you take too many hits, you start to fling your bullets at me. And I don't want to feel that anymore. So I can't hold on to this rock. So it's kind of self-preservation too. I don't want you to hurt because I'll get defensive over you. If I think somebody's made you sad, I don't like that person anymore. I don't do well with that.
Yeah, don't make me sad or else Stephanie will murder you in your sleep.
But I also don't have a lot of strength for I'm tired of trying to pick myself back up too. So if you take too many hits, babe, then no. So I don't know what sense this makes. I'm really uncomfortable. I don't know what sense this makes because I also don't want. It hurts less to take your bullets
than it does to deal with my bullets after I've taken too many.
To receive your directed bullets. So if I can save you, then I can save everybody else at the same time because nothing else is being flung. Mm-hmm. So that hurts less.
But what if I had a greater capacity to deal with the bullets that come at me so then I don't turn them outwardly?
You probably do.
Because now nobody's standing in front of me to take those.
Yeah, you probably do, Craig. But you know what? I don't know if I'm ready to.
I'm not saying that I do already. I'm saying, what if that's the dynamic?
It probably is.
What if that's the dynamic that because you stand in front of me and block things, I don't get the experience I need in order to process them. So then when you do stand out of the way, I get overwhelmed and then turn around and go, blah, here's everything. Whereas if you had just stood next to me and helped me through the process, then I wouldn't get overwhelmed and I would have the experience.
Stand next to you and help you through the process.
I don't question that.
You know what?
I know you do, baby.
I am afraid that I can do it one way or the other. That but either this is how it goes or I disconnect. I don't know how to do the middle ground.
Double binds.
ha.
Here we go in double bind overtime. Boom, boom, boom.
Shut up.
You wanted humor. Here's me bringing
That's
humor
not
into
humor.
it.
I'm trying to be funny. This is so touchy. This has got all of my, I don't know. I feel in this moment that I want to talk. I want to shove these microphones out of the way and take these fucking headphones off because I cannot stand the sound of my own voice right now. It is like ice picks in my ears. It's too loud. Everything's super loud right now. So I just like want to get all this fucking shit out of the way, and I want to crawl in bed and slam the door shut so it's just you and I, and get next to each other and then get to the heart of it like we do. Because we don't do that on the podcast. Like they have no clue of what it's like when it's you and me. Like even though this is you and me, this isn't you and me. Like there's you and me. Getting in the van and going on a road trip, there's you and me. Sitting under the stars, there's you and me. We have so many you and me's that like that's what I want to get to, because there's some good stuff to be done here. And right now, I don't know.
Right now it doesn't feel like we're getting there.
Doesn't feel like we're getting there. And I'm definitely a roadblock.
Well.
So I need to quit talking. You go.
It's not a matter of you need to quit talking.
I get triggered and I can't shut up.
No, I love it when you get triggered and you can't shut up. Well,
I know, because then you don't have to talk.
I
and
love
I'm
it
in the
most
hot
of the
seat.
time when you get triggered and you can't shut up. Sometimes I don't love it very much.
Yeah.
I don't know, baby. I think this is a big deal because I'm seeing it so clearly right now in all the ways that you and I do this.
Yeah.
And it's something that I would definitely like to shift out of so that we no longer have to do this, because it's only hurting ourselves and it's hurting our relationship. So for those of you just listening, Stephanie got triggered immediately by the idea that it's somehow hurting our relationship.
No, it is hurting our relationship. I got triggered by another thought.
Oh, what was it?
Like, where do you... I don't feel like I can continue to have this conversation. I feel like this is something that I need to hash out with an outside force.
Okay.
This is kind of big.
Okay.
And
well, we can definitely transition.
I'm very curious to hear your take on your things and your actions, but you 100% need to hear me on where you need to shift the focus off of me and my actions for the moment.
So I see the little ways that I try to protect you and protect the people that I love, right? Because like I said at the beginning, this isn't just something that plays out in regards to you and me and only you and me in our relationship. You and I do this with everybody. We do it with all the kids. We do it with our parents. We do it with people that we love and hold near and dear to ourselves. And honestly, it's like anything else. I think that a little bit of it is okay. I think a little bit of it is fine. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because it's coming from love, right? That's the reason I do it. It's because I love you and I love our kids and I love the people in my life. So of course I'm going to do it because I love you and I want to protect you. But it's like everything else, right? We've looked at over the course of the past several months and years, especially in regards to our children, we can't protect them from everything.
I can if they would just listen to me.
And because they don't just listen to us, we can't protect them from everything. I mean, how often lately have I been saying, like, if everybody would just do what I say, everybody would be perfectly fine and happy, right? Like, there's so many times with you where I'm just like, just do what I'm telling you to and everything will be fine, right? But that you don't listen to me. And so
I listen to you so much.
you do. And if only you would listen to me that last little bit, then everything would be fine. But that's not the point. That's not the purpose, right? That's not the way things work.
That was not a fart. That was a growl.
Your farts sound the same.
Shut up.
Arr. Shiver me timbers. But the whole thing is, how can I shift out of that behavior? How can I look at it in a different way? How can I Because what am I really doing in that moment? So I'm trying to now not think about it, but I'm trying to connect to the moment and what am I feeling? Like in the moment, I feel fear. I'm afraid that the ones that I love are getting hurt in some way, shape, or form. And when they hurt, I hurt. So I'm trying to fix those situations and protect them from getting hurt so that I don't get hurt. And it's easier for me to disassociate from my pain than it is for me to disassociate from their pain.
Fact.
My pain I'm very well acquainted with, and I can disassociate and turn it off instantly to where you can cut my arm off and I won't feel it. You can literally shoot me and I would be fine. But I cannot disassociate from the pain of my children or of you. That pain I cannot turn off or disassociate or disconnect from. So I'm afraid of how bad that hurts. And I want to fix it. And my way of fixing it is standing in front and taking that pain, which isn't working. That doesn't really do anything. Because the truth is, it's not like I've suddenly taken the pain away from them. It still exists. They're still in pain. All I've done is like double down. Now we're all in pain. And we're all suffering, which hasn't served anybody. So, fucking heart's hurting. So what I would like to do is sit with you, Stephanie, and stand next to you and essentially just hold your hand as you experience all your pain. And I can do that with you. And I know that you can do that with me. Even though it hurts and it's hard. And I think that's how we shift out of this behavior that you and I have been doing our whole lives. Because I don't think it's needed anymore. So. Whew. Yeah, we'll come up with some plan, babe, of how we do that and some fun word that we can say to each other that makes it easier. Because this is really hard. That dynamic of the realization for me of like, oh, it's really easy for me to disassociate from my pain. Do it every day. But it's really hard to disassociate from yours. I can't do that. I can't look away. I can't turn it off. So, what I will commit myself to coming up with some practice that you and I can implement to where we can just stand with each other and quit having to block. I think that's what we're doing, babe. I think we're internalizing all of that because we know how to. And we know how to disassociate rather than literally stand there next to the person and take all of it. And I'm willing to do that for you, even though it's going to be a lot harder, I think, than the way that we've been doing things. But for me, that's what this is coming down to, is like, oh, here we go, some other survival instinct of like, yeah, I'll just stand in front of all of it, because when I take it directly head on, then it's easy for me to disconnect from it and disassociate from it, because I've learned how to do that. But when I stand next to you, I can't disconnect and disassociate from it. I have to take all of it. I have to feel it all with you. I have to stand there with you as you feel it all and witness what it does to you. I have to watch you experience all of that pain and all of that crap, and then in turn feel it along with you. And that feels like way harder than just simply standing in front of you and then taking it and disassociating from it. But I'm kind of tired of disassociating from my life, Stephanie. I'm kind of tired of turning parts of shit off so that it's easier. I kind of really like the idea of turning everything on. So, anything else, beautiful woman of mine, before we wrap up another wonderful episode of this stupid fucking podcast?
If I don't have to worry about you taking my shit, if I don't have to worry about me being too much, too emotional, too sad, too pain, I can get through shit a lot easier when I feel like, if you're not trying to pick it up. It's, that's one of, I'm sure it's probably the same for you. I don't know. I can only tell you what I feel. That holds me back, because that's why I feel guilty. That's why I panic when I do share with you. Because then it's too much. Because then now you've received pain. So that makes me want to shut down and disappear and not share anything. But my bucket's pretty full. So that's why it spills over. So yeah, if you could just... Because it's easy. I can do that. We can just not take each other's, and maybe we'd show up a little better for each other in our truth, in our pain. I don't know.
Tune in next week.
Yep.
As we figure more shit out.
No, we're not. I'm going to be drunk next episode. I've just decided that I am now a drinker. So
in this moment, it's just occurred to me.
That's all right.
Turns out I'm an alcoholic. That's what I've been missing.
No, I didn't say that. I just said I'm a drinker. Yeah.
Well, let's go see what the day holds, my love.
All right.
I love you very, very much.
I love you.
And I understand from a strictly lizard brain part of survival that I need people for survival.
Like, you think you're happy or not? Let me fix it. I don't know. I'm flossing my hips. Thank you.
I don't think it's ego at all.
What?
I think it's survival based.
Oh, here it comes. Everybody buckle up. It's one of those women getting all emotional.